Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Tyrone back with Tech Life. And along this journey of T Mobile becoming as big of a company as they are today, are they going to make some mistakes along the way? Yes. Are they going to make some big mistakes along the way? Yes, they are. And I think they may have just made a mistake by selling off the wireline assets. And that also included the employees. It wasn't just the assets themselves, it also included the employees. So this came out from the Kansas City Business Journal. So I will leave a link to this article in the description down below so you guys could check it out. So Cogent says it will keep former Sprint wireline employees, including in Overland Park. So why do I say this is a mistake, and how does that tie in with T-Mobile? Well, T-Mobile offloads these wireline assets, including the employees now, and then we get an article a few days ago that says they're wanting to get into the wireline business. So if T-Mobile wanted to get into wireline, and they may have known this all along, why didn't they just keep at least the employees that have knowledge of dealing with wireline? You know, and I understand that it's a venture and it could potentially all be ran by a third party, and T-Mobile just, leases it back for that, for as an example. I understand that, but if T-Mobile was really serious about it, they should have looked at retaining these employees. So from what I saw in the article, it was behind a paywall, but I did see the brief beginning. It did say it was about 1,300 employees that T-Mobile is going to let go, and they'll be picked up by Cogent. So very interesting development there, right? Like I said, will T-Mobile make mistakes? Of course they will. Was T-Vision a mistake? Yes, I truly believe that was a mistake. And could them getting into fiber and actually seeing how enormous of an investment that will be, could that also be a mistake? Yes, T-Mobile, that could be a mistake. T-Mobile did their homework. They ran the analysis, but sometimes you don't really see what you're getting into until it actually happens. And they saw that with the TV side. They studied it. They did their research, but then they got into it. They launched it commercially, and then boom, all of a sudden, all these problems came about. And T-Mobile got out of that really quick. They got out of TV so quick. They launched that YouTube TV partnership, and they closed that down because they didn't really know 100% what they were getting themselves into until they actually got into it. So the same could be happening with this fiber, right? They've never been a fiber company. They've never gotten into wireline at all. They've been a pure wireless company, and they're looking at it from the outside in. They're looking at sheets, analysis, numbers, and sometimes that does work, but oftentimes you don't really know what you're getting yourself into until you actually start doing the work. A perfect example that I have, my high school job, used to work for a locally owned business, pest control, that got off into the landscaping side of things. And when we pulled up to a house for landscaping, it looked like, it looked bad. It looked like there was work, but the owner really never knew how much work it was until we actually got started. And then when we got started, it took all day, and the owner severely undercharged for the work, because from the outside looking in, the yard didn't look that bad until the actual work started. And then it was a disaster. It took us all day. So same thing here, right? You don't really know sometimes until you get started. So we'll see what happens with this. I think this may have been a mistake for T-Mobile. If they wanted to get into the wireline side, I think they should have at least kept the employees and get as much knowledge as they can from them, because they've been running the wireline side for a while under Sprint. Now, the assets themselves, I believe T-Mobile did state this at the quarterly earnings. It just didn't match T-Mobile's footprint. That's why they didn't want to keep it, and that's why they let it go for relatively cheap, because it just didn't match the footprint, and it would have likely taken a larger investment to kind of line those assets up with T-Mobile's footprint. But again, with this venture starting off at $4 billion, they're going to have to invest a lot more moving forward than what they're currently seeing. So let me know in the comment section down below how you feel about this. Do you think T-Mobile is making some mistakes? Do you think they'll make more mistakes? And the reason I bring up mistakes is because T-Mobile in itself, they have never been as large of a company as they are today. And the current leadership that's, largely still in place, they've never ran a company of this size, right? They've only ran T-Mobile as a standalone, which T-Mobile was much smaller, but now T-Mobile is much bigger. So there's much more, there are much tougher tasks to handle. So leave all your comments in the comment section down below. Look forward to reading them. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, follow my social media outlets. This is Tyrone with Tech Life. See y'all in the next one. Peace.